This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
So we love our animals mostly when they're doing what we want them to do. No, we love them all the time. But what about those situations where, let's say, your dog is exhibiting some kind of behavior and you're not really sure what to do, how to get them back on track? It's called corrections. How do we make corrections with our dogs and our animals? We're going to learn about that today. She communicates. She runs deep in terms of the psychology of animals, especially dogs. One of her niches is training service dogs, dealing with behavior of many different animals. And she is the owner of the Animal Psychology Center. Katherine Andrews is back with us. How are you doing today?
Doing really well. Excited to talk about corrections because that seems to be a big miscommunication with my clients and their animals. So, yeah, this is a big one. Excited about talking about it.
If you will have a dog, you're going to relate to this no matter what. Because, much as we want to say, my dog is perfect. No, they're not. People aren't either. And there's going to be some things that, present, but you're really not sure how to refocus or correct. I'm funny though, now that I think about it, we use the word corrections. Has it ever been correct? Like your dog, let's say, jumps up on you. People come over, your dog's like jumping up, they're all excited. That's kind of normal. Um, are we correcting? I guess we are. We're correcting that behavior, right?
Right. Well, you want to be in communication with them and let them know that they're doing something unwanted. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to be immediate about that, because if you're not immediate about letting them know that that behavior is unwanted, then they're confused if you don't do it right away in the moment. Even 2, 3, 5 seconds later is too late. And also, to back up just one step, you want to be anticipatory about when you know your dog is going to act in a way that you don't want. You need to get a handle on it. So let me give you an example about that. Talking about the jumping up. The doorbell rings, your dog runs to the door, he's excited. And this is what I tell my clients to do. Before you answer that door and open it up and they jump up on that person, and then you're already mad at them and you're yelling and all, yelling is the one thing you never want to do, because
Mm.
that is, you can be sure that your dog absolutely tunes you out as soon as you start raising your voice and yelling. That's an energy that animals absolutely tune out. So you want to have a leash handy, put that leash on your dog, and pull them back a little bit behind you. And the reason I say that is because when a dog or any animal is a little bit behind you, that is saying to them in their language, I'm the leader, you're the follower, right? So immediately that dog is going to focus on you instead of the UPS guy at the door. So you've got him on a leash, you pull him a little bit behind you, you make eye contact, because eye contact is the second step that says, I'm the leader, you're the follower. You need to listen to me right now. We're going to calm down a little bit before we open that door. Then,
Mm.
after you pull, step number one, pull them behind you a little bit, get them close to you so you're in communication, make that eye contact, open the door, and you say to the person, hang on just a minute, my dog's in training. Have your dog sit down next to you, make eye contact again, and then say, hi, come on in, or let me sign for the package or something. And then if that person wants to meet your dog is already sitting there, calm down. He's not going to jump up on the UPS person. Then you can say, invite them in and say, yeah, go ahead and pet, Fluffy or Sam or whatever. And then he's not jumping up on them. So you have anticipated what's going to happen, and you have circumvented the situation so that it doesn't end up with Fluffy jumping up on the UPS guy, and then you're already mad and you're yelling at Fluffy, you know what I mean? So you've anticipated the situation and you have given the necessary corrections so that
Mm.
You're in a happier situation for everybody. He gets to meet the UPS guy, gets to get petted, and the UPS guy doesn't get jumped up on.
Seems to me that it's you need to plan in advance, and because we're just like a dog. Going to the door. Got to open the door. Somebody's at the door. It's almost like a dog. Like I'm all excited. You have a
Mhm.
mission. You got to see who's at the door or let them in. So you forget about the dog. You need to plan in advance. Like you say, have the leash ready, have it set up. Even should you even be talking to your dog before you get the door?
Well, I always say the less amount of talking that you do and the more body language you use, the better off you are. So if you hear that doorbell ring, your dog's not going to hear anything that you say. You need to go right to the door, grab the leash, put the leash on the dog, and put them in what I call the sweet spot, which is just a little bit behind you, close enough to be touching you, but just a little bit behind you. That says volumes. That says, calm down, I'm in control,
Mm,
and make eye contact, and you're just going to see magic happen right there when you do that,
wow.
because you have just taken control of the situation and calmed your dog down. Any words that you use are not going to be heard. You know what I'm saying? You know, their dog's not going to hear anything that you say because dogs don't use words anyway. You've just used your body language and your eye contact, which is what their language is. That's what mom uses. Mom is going to use her body language and eye contact to tell that puppy to sit down and shut up, right? So that's what you just did. And in
Uh,
seconds, your dog is sitting down next to you. And when you open that door, they're calm and they're sitting down. And then they can get petted and they don't have to jump up on anybody,
Never
right?
thought of it that way. Mom and dog.
Yeah.
Mom and dog isn't saying, okay, somebody's at the door. You need to be
Mhm.
quiet. You need to calm
Oh,
down.
yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Or
Hmm.
yelling sit down, they're
Yeah.
not doing that.
But think of it when you were a kid, what would our parents do when you
Yell
had
at the dog.
no
My,
for the child? Um,
oh, for the kid.
how many times, you get the look? You
Oh,
know,
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know right away. They
Oh,
don't need to
yeah.
talk. You just
Oh,
got the look
no.
and you're like, oh, okay, all
Yeah.
right. You got
Oh,
me
yeah.
in check.
You can get the look across the room.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's a really good point because, um, my partner's, well, I don't want to say this, but he's not a good disciplinarian, but when the dogs are acting up, I can stick my head in the room and literally look and raise an eyebrow. Everybody quits doing what they're doing. So that is absolutely true.
Mm. And my
Just don't
dog's a
look.
little bit like that too, where when they know that they did something they shouldn't have done, all I have to do is shoot the look like,
Mm.
and right away it's like the dog is. So that said, let me present a challenge because I don't know how to handle it. So first thing in the morning, my dog wakes me up. We go out for a walk. I try when it's warmer out as long as I can. I, sometimes 20 minutes walking, and he'll, um, do number one, number two. Number two takes a little longer, but it's all good. And as I say, don't laugh. But it's like, all right, your pee pee tank is empty. Nothing's coming out, but you're lifting your leg. You just want to play. We're going in now because I know he's empty. I'll go to work, or I'll even just go out, and I'll come back and he's peed on the floor. I don't have any carpet, by the way. He's peed on the floor, or
Choice.
he's pooped somewhere. And granted, sometimes I'm out a little longer than I expect to be, but it doesn't typically matter. And I've gotten the wee wee pad that has the scent on it that's supposed to attract them. Does nothing. The only thing it does is give the cat something to rip
Play
up.
with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm kind of conflicted. I'm not really sure what to do. I will say that I have my dog every other week. So I don't know what's going on in the other side of his life. But I don't know how to handle it. I don't even know where to start, actually, short of yell, and I'm not going to do that. So what are your suggestions?
Well, let me ask you, how many times does this happen in a
All
week? Is
time,
that
all time.
all the time? Like every week, a couple times?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's both number one and number two?
Correct. Again, fortunately, no carpet. You clean it up.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is what it is. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And is it okay? So is it every day?
Um, no, but it could be a couple of days in a row, depending on schedules and things like that. And I get if I'm gone for a longer period of time. But then I have friends like, yeah, my dog holds it in for 8 hours, no issues. I'm like, You're lucky." And my dog is 8. He's great, no issues. Other than that, he's a fantastic dog. But it's just this, and I'll even say, I'll point to it and say, as soon as I find it, or I can't get at that moment because, I'm not in the room,
Yeah,
because I want to get on it immediately so he knows what I'm displeased about, but I
right.
wouldn't even know where to start.
So is it 8 hours then, or 10 hours, or how long is it?
It could, there's times where I've taken him out and then went out for a few hours too, come back, and then he's piddled. I'm like, what, dude? Like, really? I just took you out. I know that there's
Yeah,
nothing, you don't have to go. And I'm going to
yeah.
cut him a little bit of slack. There was a time where he got a rabies shot last year, and I think it just made him thirsty, so he went a little bit more. That's different. I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
Short of that, though, in a regular situation, though, yeah, I don't know.
Well, here's the thing that you're going to have to do to figure this out to make sure that it's not something medical going on is do you have a crate that you can put him in?
I thought about that.
An experiment because if you put him in the crate, he's naturally not going to want to mess the crate. So I would say, as an experiment, put him in the crate and see if he goes to the bathroom in the crate. If he doesn't go to the bathroom in the crate, then you're looking at something behavioral. And I would say he's just doing it to be doing it, because it sounds like it's happening whether it's 2 hours or 6 hours or 8 hours. He's just doing it. So he's just doing it because he can.
Mm,
So if you put him in the crate, because basically you're gonna have to retrain the brain anyway. So you're gonna have to crate train him anyway. So you're gonna have to use that crate. And if
mm.
he goes to the bathroom in the crate, then I would say then you're gonna
Oh,
need to get him checked out by the vet and see if there's something going on. And if there's nothing going on, then he's just getting older and he's just not able to hold it if he's going in
I
the
don't think
crate.
that. I think it's behavioral. I'm going to
Yeah.
say, with my observation,
That would be my first guess. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
90%, it's behavioral. Um, at that point, look, how do you correct, in that at that
You
moment?
you go backwards to crate training, just like you would with a kid when they're doing something and getting out of hand, you have to ground them, take away the privileges. So you're basically taking away his freedom and putting him in that crate and saying, your freedom is limited while I'm gone because you are taking advantage of it and pooping and peeing on the floor. So you crate train him for a couple weeks and then you leave him out for a day and see what happens.
Okay.
And you've got you have he has to earn his freedom back. He has to earn that privilege back. So that's
Mm,
how we do it with just
well,
about anything that they backpedal on because occasionally during dogs' lives, they get. I have a dog recently who started getting into the trash while his owners are gone, and he's like 5 years old. He's like, yes, he's done this since he's a puppy, and we kind of spitballed it, and come to find out, he just decided to do it because he could. So we had to go back to crate
mm,
training him
fair
for
enough.
2 weeks. Then we started letting him out again, and he quit doing it. So
Wow. All right.
yeah.
It completely sounds reasonable. And I believe he knows he shouldn't be doing it, because sometimes I'll walk in and I'll just look at him and I'm like, Tanner.
Yeah, right. Like 2 hours, come on, yeah.
Right. And he's like, like he knows, like, I'm busted. And what am I
Yeah,
going to
like
do?
because he didn't expect you to come home in 2 hours, and there it is, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, God darn it,
Yeah. Yeah.
I.
So how about Catherine, some other behavioral issues that we can correct and what we should do for them?
Well, you're the main thing I'm going to tell you is you've got to be immediate about doing your correction right away, because if you wait, they're not going to understand.
And therein,
Just
by
like
the way, therein lies the challenge with my situation because I'm not there. So he could have gone 20 minutes before, 3 hours before. I can't. And fortunately, I believe he knows that he shouldn't have done
I
it.
was going to say there's exceptions to the rule, and he's old enough to understand that
Yeah.
that is an issue, and he knows it, and he is playing you by getting away with it, and that's why the crate training is going to make sense to him because you are going to take away his freedom. He's going to understand 100% that he's getting his freedom taken away because of that. And when you put him in that crate for 2 weeks and then give him that first day of freedom, he's going to have to make a decision. How much do I want my freedom versus how much do I want to poop or pee on the floor? And he's going to make a decision. And he's going to decide how much, because we all have free choice. And I tell that to my clients. We all have free
Mm,
choice, and so does your dog. And most of the time, when people come to me with problems, they are not expecting enough of their dog. They don't realize how intelligent they are, and they're
mm,
not expecting enough of them. And so a lot of times when I take the leash and I go do something with the dog, they behave quite well. And the client is very surprised. And I'll say, you just don't expect enough of him, you know? I'll take them on the leash and they don't pull me. They sit without me even asking them to sit. I'll just look at them and I'll think it and they'll sit down. And this is a dog that I've never even met. I've been with them 2, 3 minutes and I'll say, do you see what he's doing? And they'll go, yeah, like seriously, he never does this with me. I'll say, A, you don't expect it of him. And B, this is hard for me to say because I feel like I'm really being mean, but I'll say he doesn't respect you.
mm,
And but here's the thing about that, love and respect live in the same house. And a lot of people don't expect good behavior and they don't expect enough respect from their dog.
mm. Well, and on the plus side, it makes you look like a superstar. You take the dog for 2 minutes and you know,
Well, yeah,
they're
thanks.
wonderful.
It does. It is like, yeah, it is a good feeling. It does make you feel like, a little bit like Superman. And it's also true, like even with experienced handlers, like I'll go to the Humane Society to donate my time and I'll tell the handlers, go get me the dogs that you cannot adopt. And they'll go, what? And I'm like, well, yeah, I don't want to see the dogs that you can adopt. I want to see the ones that are on death row that you can't adopt. So always they'll go get me a dog who is acting like a crazy nut at the end of the leash. They're pawing the air with their front feet and they're, just crazy. And they hand me the leash, like, here you go, and I will take the leash and I will shorten it up and put that dog a little bit behind me, just like we talked about earlier, in the sweet spot, make eye contact and look at him like, dude, you need to quit. And I don't say anything to him. I make eye contact and I look at him and I expect good behavior and we start walking. That dog stops pulling. I look at that dog and I think, sit. I don't even say it, and the dog sits down. And seriously, Steve, my record is under a minute of getting a dog like that to behave. It usually takes me under 2 minutes. And those people who work with dogs every single day are amazed. And I say to them the same thing I just said. You're not expecting enough from this dog, and you're not being serious enough with him, and you're
Mm,
not demanding that respect. And all you don't have to yell at him. You don't have to be mean to him. You don't have to wrestle him to the ground. All you have to do is make that eye contact and put him in that spot behind you that says, I'm the leader. And by the way, you are not the leader. I'm the leader. And you go. So I'm giving them respect. I'm giving them love. I'm doing it with love, but I'm not taking any crap from them either. You know what I mean?
well, I'm learning a lot here today. Um, React as soon as it takes place. Don't wait and expect more from your dog. So I'm totally right there on your page. I believe that we don't realize how intelligent, how smart they are, how they can play us if they want to, whether they know they're doing it or not. Any other suggestions? What else can we talk about in terms of correction? Situations that present. What do we do? Like the dog jumping up. That's such a common one that so many of us deal with.
Yeah, yeah. Well, grabbing things like, sometimes the dog will grab the baby's toy instead of their toy. They'll try to play with something that's not theirs. And
Mm.
usually all it takes is one sound, and I don't even have to say no. I'll usually just make a sound and I'll go, eh, or hey. I don't like to use the dog's name because I like to use that for positive things. So
Okay.
when I give a correction, seriously, a big one for me is to just go, eh. And my clients, it's funny to me when my clients start making that noise and I hear them doing it
It's
because
like, do
it's
you have something in your
it's
throat?
not, I know it's not the coolest noise, but it's just something that naturally comes out of me. I'm just like, and I can do it across the yard when I see one of the dogs doing something that I don't want them to do. But just any kind of a noise, a no, a hey, a at, just to let them know, not yours, you know.
Yeah.
And dogs should respect your belongings. When clients come and I meet them outside, I have a I have plants that are in pots. I have yard ornaments and stuff. And usually the first thing, this is male dogs, but the first thing they want to do is pee on everything and they want to pee on my truck. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm like, I don't come to your house and pee on your stuff. Do I? No. So, it's that whole respect thing, and you have to keep your dogs in that wheelhouse of respect, not only respecting you, but other people, because anybody who you invite into your circle is also part of your pack. If I invited you to my house, you would be part of my pack. And when I bring my dogs out, they're not going to pee on your vehicle. They're not going to pee on you. If
Mhm.
you put your bag down, your overnight bag, they're not going to pee on it. And they're not going to go sniffing in it and rooting through it. So I think that's a big correction thing too, is for dogs. Wow, when they come to your place also, they can't just run around and sniff everything and get into everything because you don't let your kids do that. You bring your kids someplace, they don't start going through people's drawers and going through their house. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
hold your dogs accountable to the same kind of rules. And again, people kind of sometimes think I'm being mean. I'm not. Your dog is happier when they're more respectful. Your kids are happier when they're more respectful.
Yeah, I mean,
You're
number one rule of being a parent is you need to set boundaries for your kids. They whether they like it or not, more times they're not going to like it. I don't want to know. Come on.
Yeah,
They
sure,
really
they're
need
going to
it.
complain. Yeah.
Yeah, they want it. Hmm.
They don't get invited back, right?
Right.
They're
Exactly.
not going to get invited anywhere if they're not respectful. And the next time you come over to somebody's house, they're going to say, "Hey, leave your dog at home." You know? So it's you're doing when you're wanting respect and boundaries, this is all under the category of love. You're doing it because you love to bring your dog places, you love to bring your kid places, you want them to be loved by other people. How do you do that? You do it by boundaries, respect, and love. And that's all falls under the heading of communication, which is what I do. It's what we do at Animal Psychology Center, is we communicate. So
Mm.
yeah,
But as I've
no,
learned today from you, Catherine, communication doesn't have to be verbal. It can be the look, it can be the sounds. And, to your point, like he does, my dog is okay with this. If he picks up something, he's not supposed to have it. I just say, drop it, drop it. Sometimes it'll take three times because he's, testing. Can I play with this? Are we going to play right now? No, drop it. And the thing that saved me a lot, it's sort of like your sound, is I'll just go like that. And right away, he's like, "What? What? What?" And he's expecting a treat as well, but I've refocused him. I can be with a bunch of people. He may pee and poop all the time on on the floor, but he at
yeah.
least he addresses that one. He's got that one, that little noise, and I guess in the frequency of sound for his ears, right away, it's like what? But like a dog walks by on a leash, I've got him on a leash, and he's like all crazy with the other dog like that. And he's, what? What do you need? What? All right. And he's looking up at me. Um,
So you figured out a communication all on your own that came to you naturally, and that is really cool. That's the essence of the best communication.
yeah, but the difference here, Catherine, is you know what you're doing. I do not. as
Yeah,
do
but you do.
the rest
You
of
do.
us.
You figured it
No,
out.
listen, if I knew what I was doing, I wouldn't be mopping pee every day. So let's go. Um, what's your website? I know that you can work with anybody, anywhere, and of course, even interested in making your dog a service animal. There's another aspect of what you do. How do we find you?
Animalpsychologycenter.com.
Super simple. Yeah, start the conversation. Show the love for your dog and get them on track where they should be. Because as we've learned today, we underestimate them. They're smarter than we think. All right, Catherine, thank you so much for being here today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve. Take care.
You too.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.